You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Here's a look at some of the headlines from the past week. The ABC Rodeo held their last ride under the dome at the Coliseum over the weekend. Meanwhile, county commissioners are getting the ball rolling on the new expo center that's supposed to take its place. This week, they held a special work session with a private public developer talking about funding and infrastructure for the project. They're the same crew, actually, who's developed the Buddy Holly Hall and the Overton Hotel and Conference Center. They say it'll be funded without raising property taxes through a combination of that hotel occupancy tax and the short-term car rental tax. Then private funding will round out the rest that's still needed. But that Expo Center group says the work is just getting started.
So I ask the people to be patient, to understand that this is a process, and it's a lengthy process. When you think about a project like this, all this got to be done, design, the build, and we're getting there, and we haven't forgot, and it's going to be done, and it's going to be nice. And everybody would be very, very proud of the Lubbock County Expo Center when it's completed.
He says they understand the rodeo is relying on them without a home for now. He gave a rough timeline with an April 2021 opening. But in the more immediate future, the commissioners are now considering a, quote, memorandum of understanding on the project. That'll outline more of the major planning and timing details. Look out for that this coming Monday. Well, U.S. Senator John Cornyn spent some time in town discussing his legislative priorities and his advocacy for cotton farmers at the Plains Cotton Growers annual meeting. That happened over at the Civic Center. He talked about the issues still facing the ag community and how it feels like as soon as they pass a farm bill, it's already time to pass another.
Obviously, staffing is important to make sure that the U.S. Department of Agriculture has the people they need in order to work with our farmers and cotton producers to do what they do. But there are other issues as well, like immigration, getting a workforce that is able to get the cotton out of the field and to market. And then there are things like trade, which I think you'll see us focusing on mainly here in the next few months, trying to make sure we open up markets to American cotton, not only in Mexico, but to China as well.
He, of course, had a lot to say about the situation at the border as well, hoping a nonpartisan effort can be made for change. In fact, he's one of the Texas lawmakers speaking out this week after President Trump's threats to shut down the border between the U.S. and Mexico. The president has now backed off those threats, saying he's giving Mexico a year notice, and if drugs don't stop flowing over the southern border, he's going to slap tariffs on car imports or close the border altogether. As Anna Wernicke reports, though, many Texas lawmakers say closing the border would be an immediate disaster for the Texas economy and eventually the nation as a whole.
I've been getting a lot of calls, a lot of texts, a lot of emails from people that are very concerned.
Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar says his inbox has been flooded with messages from constituents who feared the president was about to shut down the Mexico border.
They're just very worried about the impact.
But President Trump said Thursday he's giving Mexico a year to stop the flow of drugs and migrants into the U.S. And if that doesn't happen,
We're going to close the border, or I'm going to tariff the cars. I'll do one or the other.
Cuellar says today or next year, both options would be a disaster.
You're actually hurting the American public.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce says $1.7 billion worth of goods cross the southern border each day, and 5 million U.S. jobs depend on trade with Mexico.
The U.S. and Mexico, we're more than neighbors, we're more than friends, we are family. Our relationship is so important.
Texas Republican Congressman Will Hurd says Mexico is Texas's #1 trading partner.
And it's not just Texas and Mexico. There are 28 states where Mexico is their #1 or #2 trading partner.
Texas Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz were among the lawmakers, advisors, and business people who urged the president not to close the border.
That's not the right approach. Congress needs to take up and pass legislation to secure the border and end this crisis.
In Washington, I'm Anna Wernicke.
And here to spend 5 good minutes with us is Brandon Darby. He leads a Breitbart Border and Cartel Chronicle. So he obviously has a lot of experience with this topic. It's good to have you here today.
Hey, thank you.
Now, I know you actually make frequent trips to the border and into Mexico. So you've experienced a lot of this that we're discussing firsthand. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys really do?
Well, what we do is for the past decade, we've traveled all 9 southwest border sectors from the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean. On the U.S. side, we meet with agents, we listen to their concerns, and have them talk to us outside of the purview of their agency so we can get a good idea what's really happening. And then we go into Mexico, and we meet with law enforcement there, with journalists there, with others, so that we can keep tabs on what the cartels are actually doing in Mexico. So that's primarily what we do, in addition to trying to make sure that, you know, there are a lot of regions along the border where Mexican journalists get murdered. You know, Mexico has a pretty high rate of journalists getting murdered, higher than anywhere else in the world, I believe, maybe second most dangerous place for journalists. So what we do is we allow those journalists who are not allowed to write about cartels to write about them under a pseudonym, and then we publish that in English and Spanish so the whole world can see what's really occurring.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of messaging from media here in our nation on one side or the other, many claiming it's very safe and many claiming it's a war zone. Talk about, from your experience, what's your take on that?
Well, so both of those claims, the claim that the border is safe, the claim that it's unsafe, they're both half-truths, right? What we have right now is we have one political party saying the border is a war zone. We have another political party swearing that it's the safest place in the world, right? Well, both are half-truths. Like some places along the border, it's almost roughly 2,000 miles. So some places along the border are actually a war zone, and some places along the border are very safe. So both are true, both are untrue at the same time, you know? And I think people need to understand when we're talking about political leaders, where we are right now, we're in a place where both parties will hold their line no matter what. And so we're seeing a lot of misinformation about the border come out, you know. But it is important to mention that several places along the Texas border are specifically dangerous, and it has to do with the nature of the criminal group we call cartels, right? It has to do with the nature of the cartel who operates in that region. So some places in Arizona, California are relatively safe because the cartels who operate there are very professional, and they don't want to do things that bring attention to themselves. Some of the cartels operating in Texas, along the Texas border, are very unprofessional, and they don't care about tomorrow. They just care about their profits today, and it makes them particularly dangerous. You know? Interesting.
You know, something that we're really talking about this week, that threat from the president to close the border, then obviously taking that back a bit, but tell us a little about what was you guys' reaction when those reports came out.
I had mixed feelings about that, knowing what I know and seeing what I see every day. I had mixed feelings. You know, I think we have to remember when we talk about Mexico, we're talking about a country with roughly, I think, 32 states. Over half of those states are not under the control of the federal government, meaning when they want to get a criminal from that territory, a cartel boss or something, they can't send the police in or their FBI in or the state police or the Texas Rangers like we can. They have to send in their Marines and armored convoys to actually enforce their rule of law in those areas. It's also a nation where the most recent president, Peña Nieto, has been directly linked to drug cartels. The person who ran his campaign was a guy directly linked to drug cartels. So we have a lot of public corruption in Mexico, historically and currently. So I understand the frustration with the U.S. government saying, hey, or with the executive branch saying, hey, if you don't get stuff in order, we're going to shut you down. One of the things I think folks watching need to understand is that several drug cartels, especially the ones operating on the Texas border, they now are making more money from illegal immigration and from migrant smuggling for asylum claims than they're making from drugs. So they're no longer drug cartels, they're actually asylum and illegal immigration cartels. So when you have Mexico's government actually giving visas for people to cross Mexico to come to our border illegally or for asylum, and that is what is helping we call drug cartels profit, you know, and helping them have money. And then you look at Mexico's politicians' ties to those drug cartels and the fact that they often take money, what you start to get is the appearance that Mexico's government is profiting off of bringing people to our border. And that's where you get into like a justification for the president threatening to shut down the border. But then at the same time, you look at Texas, you look at our economy, you look at the role that the Texas economy plays in the national economy. And that Mexico is a major trading partner. And so that's the balance, that's the catch, is on one hand you have law enforcement priorities, on the other hand you have diplomatic priorities and trade, and trying to balance, trying to go after cartels while keeping the politicians linked to those cartels happy is very difficult. And I think that we're seeing that play out in our politics, but we're not seeing a lot of honest talk about the fact that the reason the president is threatening that is because Mexico's government is largely linked to the very cartels who are causing these problems at our border.
So much to get into. I think we could spend an entire show talking with you here. That's really all the time we have right now. But if people want to read more of your work or more of what you guys are doing with your groups, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me at Breitbart.com. They can find me on Twitter at Brandon Darby. That's about it, really. We just put out the news, show people what's occurring there, and we try to do so without any political spin one way or the other.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, stick around. We'll be right back with more.